Hey folks, it's Ben. I'm here with a kind of a cool project my wife said I should record. We're here at the water tank. I'm going to link to a video that probably describes my water tank for you. Long story short, it's got about 1,400 liters of water in it, and it comes down to just a ball valve down there. Now, previous points in time, I purchased a pump for I think $13, and I think I paid 40 bucks for the tank. In anticipation, I may have used it for my home, but I'd probably buy a new tank. So I've got this tank and a jet pump. Jet pump's not really what I need, but it's a pump, so then it works. Now, I have hooked up the pump before, as you can see by the kind of makeshift outlet there, plug, to pump water from our pool into said tank there. But what I'm going to do now is a little bit more awesome. I'm going to take this tank, and through this 1 1/4 inch black hose, or I should say, I'm sorry, this 1 inch black hose that converts to 1 1/4 inch black hose that then goes into the pump to the inlet side. Being a jet pump, it's designed to squirt water down the well hole again to use to push more water up. So the bottom part here, I don't actually need. So you can plug it or use it for more water discharge from the pump. In this case, I plugged it. So I had to buy a couple things for this. So one of them was a plug for that. So we do have our discharge. It has another ball valve on it. I had to buy the adapter for the 1 inch intake on the tank versus the 1 1/4 intake of the pump. So we've got that. Didn't need to buy anything for the discharge of the pump. And I did buy this little threaded bit to go from plastic PVC to a threaded tap, which is now closed. So in theory, I could just turn on the water of the tank, and I'm going to do that now. And that's going to pressurize the system a little bit. With any luck, it won't leak too badly. You hear a little churning here, but it's actually dry. So in theory now I'm plugging water into the pump, but of course it's shut off. So if I open it, everything else is still plugged, turned off. The pressure valve on the pump works. So it's showing nothing, of course, or a little bit, couple PSI maybe. But the real test would be, I should get water if I open this out of here, because in theory water is coming in through here, through the pump. The tank is just the kind of a reservoir, right? The pressurized reservoir. And here's another valve that comes with the, I don't hear any whooshing of air either. Kind of weird. So I don't know what's going on. I don't want to have to bleed the tank. Doesn't look like there's a check. Well, this is a valve. Uh-oh. That could be a check valve right there. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to swap these two. Because, yeah, water would only go out, it would not come back in. That's probably what our issue is. So, all right, well, close this valve. I could crack it open too, but I don't need to. Close this valve, and we'll switch these two. Because, yeah, if that's a check valve, no one's going against that. Oops. Okay, so this is going in the right direction. So it just doesn't have enough force on the tank pressure to push through the valve, I'm guessing. It could have corrosion or whatever on it. So I cracked the line here. Now we're venting air, so I can fill the pump up with water. Then we'll bump it and see if we can push through, or if we'll just deadhead the pump, which would be cool. But I'll vent this off, and then we'll come back and bump the pump. Okay, so I pulled back the black here, and that bled off the air out of the system. So now there's water to the pump, because you don't want to run it dry. I'm hoping by bumping the pump, it will squirt lots of water out. There is technically a pressure switch on the pump too, but I don't know if it works. But anyway, I wish the pump had a longer cord, because I don't like being this close to contraptions when I pump them up. But let's go ahead and fire the pump up, see what happens. It could be that one-way valve is just corroded closed. because it's still running, my guess is that it just needed to be blown open. So the next question is will it run up to pressure and stop? That I don't know, so we'll take a look at it over here. Okay, so here's my pressure gauge, and here's me with the pump. I don't know if the pressure gauge works, but we're about to find out. Ideally, I'd like to get up to about 60 pounds, but I can unplug it if we get up to about 70. In theory, water's going into the big blue tank. We're about 15 pounds now. It's a really big tank. It's actually going to pull probably down on my big tank pretty good. So it's running. It stopped at about 15. We definitely have water going through the pump. Well, I guess until I run some good water through it, I'm not going to know. So I'll unplug it now. That sure fell down awful quick. We'll let the missus water the garden and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so next day we've done a couple refinements. So I don't remember what I did, but anyway, we've got our pipe coming from our tank through here over into the intake of our pipe, which is 1 1/4. We have that plugged up. I've now wired the switch to the tank switch, which does work. The pump switch is based on pump pressure, but as soon as the pump turns off, thanks to the check valve, it depressurizes and thus goes to 0. So using this switch isn't really effective. But it is kind of in the system. It will prevent the pump from over pressuring. It'll turn itself off. So there's that going for us. But so we're running off this switch. The pressure gauge doesn't work correctly, but it does work. So it pretty much ranges, I think, like I say, 20 to 80 or whatever. Dollar store purchases, splitter, Walmart purchase of 2 50-foot sections of hose. That was 30 bucks, and this was about 10 for this. 2 nozzles for the hose. Nice thing about these is they're quarter turn off. This is a several rotations type thing. And it seems to be working, and we're getting to a point now. And my daughter filling water barrels. The switch just clicked on, so it's gonna do like any other water pump is. There's no real show here. It'll go up to what it thinks is 90 pounds and turn off. And I did have to tweak the switch a little bit. There's an adjustment inside where you can turn a bolt to set the spring tension as to how high a pressure you'll let it go. There it goes. Wiring originally was a plug from the pump, just a straight plug. So using the existing wiring, we go to the pump motor, put it on the pressure contacts. Yes, sweetie. Then we come over to the switch, come over here where we have backyard nailed it. Put all our power wires together onto our cord. So we can still unplug it directly, and I'll put this in a metal box, but for purposes of testing and getting it broken in, it's cool. At night, I unplug it, turn off the pressure valve, close the suction valve, and then close obviously the spigot, and that seals the system. The system had pressure overnight, so that's good too.
Dad,
yeah.
Is this enough?
No. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you want to make fun of me, could you wait please? If you have any questions, comments, leave them. Subscribe to my channel or my other channel at Burn Homestead, but cool farm stuff. 100 feet of hose covers most of the garden there, so we can get the pumpkins that are way over in the back. So, all right, guys, have a good day.